I got some of the most craziest cheating Reddit stories for you guys today. And while we do that, I'm gonna go work on my enchantment table room. This one's from r/stories, posted by the user agreeable_rutabaga28, and it's titled, "My wife slept with my best friend and now wants to work things out." I'm 38, and I've been with my wife, who's 35, for 17 years. We have 3 children together. I was always of the mindset that I wanted monogamy in life, one woman to come home to and that I'd be with for the long haul. I had women try to talk to me over the years, but I never pursued it because I was completely content in my marriage. My wife was my dream girl and I never wanted to hurt her. Over the years, there was 2 occasions where I discovered she was being unfaithful in our marriage. One was an off and on again affair that lasted a few years with her married co-worker. That's crazy. And the other was a fling with an ex she dated in high school when she went to visit her family states away. What? I'm sure there will be people who say I'm stupid, which looking back, I can't even deny myself. But after a period of separation with both situations, I decided to forgive my wife. Ooh, okay. As I never wanted to raise my children in a broken home like I had been, and I really felt like we could make it through it. We were young whenever the situation with her coworker happened, so I chalked it up to being young and making dumb choices without thinking. I'm not gonna lie, he sounds mentally immature right now. I don't know about his wife though. For a while, things were seemingly okay. I never fully trusted her, but I tried my best to push back my doubts because I knew if I decided to forgive her, then I had to do my best to move past it and have a clean slate. It's been 4 years since the second time she's been unfaithful, and I felt like I made the right decision by letting her have that chance to show that she still wanted to be in our marriage. She was a different person for years, and we were happy and even had various things set in motion for the future of our family. Okay. However, 2 months ago, my reality was once again shattered by yet another incident which in my mind was far worse than the others. I ended up receiving a message from one of my best friend's wives. This friend knew my wife a little. He met her in passing, but it wasn't like we all hung out together or anything like that, for me to even worry about them. We worked together, so there was sometimes my wife would bring him up multiple times while we were talking about work. She would bring me coffee to work, and also one for him. Ooh, that's sketchy. I noticed that when she did, she dressed in more revealing clothing than she usually wore, but I never commented on it. Whoa, insane. She even convinced me that we should buy him a joint birthday present and take him out for drinks on his birthday. Just little things like that, which were really obviously weird, but like I said, I didn't think I had anything to worry about with either of them. To my knowledge, he had a good marriage with his wife. He never spoke badly about it, so I didn't think he'd have any interest either. Not to mention, we'd actually been friends for a long time, and I trusted him. I'd make comments in a joking way to my wife about how she took too much of an interest in him, and she laughed it off, saying she just wanted to have another couple to be friends with. She never actually tried to plan anything as far as to hang out with him and his wife as a couple. I agreed they would be good to be friends with, so again, I never thought too much into the overly friendliness of my wife with him. Turns out, I was way wrong not to, because I was met with multiple screenshots from his wife implying they were engaged in a full-out affair. I wanted to get my proof situated before I ended up confronting my wife, because I didn't want her to have the opportunity to manipulate the situation or try to lie her way out of it. So I started going through call logs, credit statements, etc. because I didn't know how far this actually went past the social media screenshots I saw. When the truth came out, neither of them tried to lie to me about it. I found out they were sneaking off to hotels when she was supposed to be doing doubles at work and he was supposed to be off with family. And that my own friend would leave work to go see her at her job basically every day for a month, and she'd meet up with him on his lunch breaks. They were even planning a weekend at a hotel for the next weekend before the truth came out. I obviously cut ties with my friend, and honestly, I have no idea what to do about my situation with my wife. Their affair ended and my wife apologized profusely, saying she just got carried away. She said that she'd felt lacking in our marriage, with both of us dedicating so much time to work and other things, and that my friend was there and was a quote-unquote nice guy. She said she let herself envy the way he treated his wife, and wished she could have had that with me, but was afraid to tell me I wasn't doing enough in our marriage. So in other words, she made a mistake in that she didn't know how to end it once it started. For now, we are living in the same house, because realistically, neither of us have the means to leave right now, as her family doesn't live here, plus the cost of renting and houses here are absurd. And on top of that, we still have our children in our house who are still in school. She's basically trying to do anything to keep me around, including telling me I can see other women casually outside of our marriage, as long as I come home to her. She would never hold it against me as cheating. I told her that's not much of a marriage, and it's certainly not anything I ever set out to have, but she is bent on keeping our family together by any means. She even brought up how we shouldn't let our kids live in a broken home because of our marital issues. I guess my wife is under the impression that nothing could make me want out of this marriage, and by offering things like that, she thinks will fix our marriage. I guess in a way, that is my fault for letting so much slide in the past. I do love her in some ways, but at this point, I think the love is more from just the fact that we have kids together, and that I've been with her for nearly 2 decades rather than feelings of being in love. My self-confidence is low, and my wife is out of my league, but I still don't think that's enough of a reason to stay. She claims she loves me and doesn't want to lose all we built and are building toward, but to me, I just can't see how that can be true when she was so okay with running around with one of my only friends. I can't trust her. To me, her word is meaningless. I forgive her, and then how long until she goes and does it again? I do think people can make mistakes and be forgiven because people are flawed, but this isn't just one slip up, and truth be told, my faith in her is so low. I don't even know if there's been more instances on top of the ones I actually know about. My mental state is essentially a puddle of mud right now. I'm sure there's probably someone reading this calling me stupid, and I can't even argue with that. But yeah, basically my life is down the drain and I don't know how to proceed. Oh, okay, here's some edits from the guy. Update: I'm not staying with my wife. I should have clarified that better. Me saying I don't know how to proceed is more talking about how to go on about handling this with my children. I never dealt with anything legal, so the stress of having to meet with lawyers is also not knowing how to go about our living situation. I have enough proof that my wife couldn't flip the switch and take everything from me, but as a guy, that's always something you have to worry about. Thank you for your words, and some of you saying I'm stupid, trust me, I know. I can't change that now, unfortunately. I just have to keep on moving forward. Okay, that was a crazy story. He had 17 years. 3 kids, and he's forgiven her twice, multiple occasions, and he's still telling himself he's a one punching above his weight. Everybody in the comments is saying 3 times is a pattern, not a mistake, and yeah, obviously, you know. But the part that got me is the birthday present. She talked him into giving halves on a birthday present for that man that she was cheating with, which is insane. Matter of fact, she had him take that guy out for drinks. He set it up. He was the one making the joke about how much she liked him. And she let him do every bit of that, laughing while the same man was driving her over to see her at work basically every day for a month. That's not getting carried away. That's using your husband as cover. And then she told him how she envied that man on how he treated his wife. He was cheating on his wife. What do you mean you envied him? With her, yeah. And when the husband of the cheating wife finally realized this, neither one denied a single thing when he confronted them. His reason for staying both times was his kid, which, good on him, he's the grown-up in this situation. He grew up in a broken home and didn't want that for them. I get it completely, but those kids aren't learning what a home is, they're learning what a man will put up with. I don't think he's stupid, I think he's exhausted. She's not out of his league, he's out of her league. And I hope sooner rather than later, he'll figure this out. Once again, that is an insane story. You know what's even crazier? This next story. This one's from r/am I the a-hole, posted by the user awful_sister_haver, and it's titled, "Would I be the a-hole if I tell my sister that our other sister had an affair with her husband?" I'm 29 and I have 2 sisters, Jess, 32, and Lena, 34. Jess and Lena used to live in the same small town about 12 hours away from me, my brother, and our parents. Then Jess moved from here, but for better opportunities and for more help with my niece, Amy, 12. Jess hasn't even been in town for 3 months yet, and last week she dropped a terrible bombshell on us. Jess has spent a year sleeping with Lena's husband, Jeff, and they even had a miscarriage together in that time. Lena has absolutely no idea. Jess brought us all, me, parents, my husband, and my brother, involuntarily into her show, just by breaking down and dumping all of this onto us in tears, after sending Amy off to play. Apparently she was too guilty to live with herself without getting it off her chest somehow. I have half a mind to tell her she should have just smothered. Then, the family is going nuts trying to decide what to do now. We urged Jess to come clean herself to Lena, but she has flatly refused, saying that Lena is her best friend and she loves her too much to lose her friendship. And also that she feels it will break Lena's heart and destroy her family. Lena and Jeff have 4 kids together. What? My niece and nephews ranging in age from 18 to 10. So that means that started when one of them was 9 and one of them was 17. That's crazy. A big part of me feels like Lena deserves to know no matter what. But 2 things are really giving me pause. The kids and Lena's feelings. The kids love their dad, love their house, love their land. They'd be ripped away from all those things in a divorce. Would they not? And I worry a lot about how Lena would cope if she knew. She'd been such a devoted wife to Jeff, and she does consider Jess to be her best friend. It feels cruel to shatter her reality like that. Jess is pretty much dead to me over this. So is Jeff. I don't know what to do and I'm very torn. I just want to do what's best for Lena and her kids. Should I speak up since Jess won't, or no? I know infidelity is a sore subject when it comes to whether or not to speak up. I need help. Okay, there's some updates from her. Update: I had to go to work and then bed after posting, but I've done my best to read as many of these posts as possible. I'm really appreciative of everyone who gave their perspective and advice. The folks who I'd been cheating on personally were especially eye-opening. I asked myself 100 times in the past week whether I should tell Lena just because I would want to know if it were me. Lena is honestly the most forgiving and timid of the 3 of us. Always had been, and when we were growing up, she'd get called a doormat. And I've always been the angry and intense one. I would definitely want to know, but a part of me truly worries that Lena won't thank us for this. It was the overwhelming response that showed me that there's likely only one right answer, as painful as it's going to be. Especially what pushed me into deciding was two things. I don't want to be seen as siding with Jess instead of Lena in Lena's eyes. When she finds out, I want it to be from people who love her, instead of her feeling betrayed and thinking she has no one on her side. And second, the people pointing out that she's currently potentially vulnerable to viruses, if you know what I mean. I know my sister is clean, but I don't know about Jeff. And honestly, I've been so shocked over this situation that it hadn't even occurred to me that he could be sleeping with other people beside Jess. That was the final push. I'm meeting up with my parents and my brother on Sunday morning, and we're going to have a big talk about how to handle the situation. My dad isn't going to be happy because he's terrified of how the fallout will affect Lena and the kids when she knows. But ultimately, Lena being safe matters more. I'm going to lead with the suggestion of forcing Jess's hand and making her confess because this is her fault. We don't want to tip Jeff off so he can't try to weasel out with lies first. And honestly, the logistics of getting to Lena in person are going to be hard, but we'll pull together and see what we can do. I'm definitely not suggesting the video call. I know those suggestions were well-meaning, but if my family did that to me, I'd die of shame. And so we're going to pass on that. My goal is to have us make a plan where we deliver a watertight ultimatum with a short deadline to Jess, and then focus on what we can possibly do for Lena when she knows. If Jess refuses to play ball by the deadline, it'll probably be me and my mom telling Lena. In which case, wish me luck. Thank you again for all the help, and I'll try to update again when I have significant news. Oh my god, that's a weight on the chest. Jess didn't confess in the end, as far as we know. What Jess did was hand the secret to 5 other people so she could feel lighter, and then walk off and leave them holding it. And she says out loud why she won't tell Lena, because Lena is her best friend and she loves her too much to lose her. See, me personally, if I had a best friend that did that, ooh, crazy time. She slept with her best friend's husband for over a year, and the thing she's protecting is her own friendship. Half the comments are telling her Lena deserves to know, and they're right, but the sharper version is the one sitting underneath of it all. The longer this sits, the more Lena loses. Right now, she's losing a husband and a sister. Say they wait 6 months, and then she finds out her mom knew, her dad knew, and her brother knew, and her other sister knew, and every single one of them sat across the table from her and said nothing, then she's got nobody at all. That's basically a huge loss in her eyes. That's what Jess actually did. She didn't just take the husband, she took the whole family's ability to be on Lena's side. And she did it in one afternoon. And the one person working out this whole situation here is a sister who wasn't even involved. Beside the, talking and all. I get why she's so frozen. Lena's a soft one. The doormat, they called her, which is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. But being the easiest person to break to isn't a reason to be the last one told. If it were me, I'd give Jess the deadline, and I already know she isn't going to use it by any means. That's why she told the family in the first place. Because she didn't want to be the one bringing the news to her sister. You are not the a-hole. That's a crazy story. Let me know down in the comments what you'd have done in either of these situations. Drop a like if you knew. All my other videos are in the archive right here. If you like this one, catch you in the next one. Peace.